You look at the empty chairs in your office. You look at the silent phone on your desk. You feel a heavy pressure in your chest. You think you made a fatal error. You read the business books. The books state that a strong leader builds a family. The experts state that you must build a network of close peers. The speakers say your network equals your financial value. They tell you isolation means failure. You think you are defective because people walk away from you. You think you are a bad person because you feel zero interest in their weekend plans. You believe the common narrative. You think extreme success brings extreme camaraderie. You think you will reach the summit and find a group of equals waiting to celebrate with you. You are completely wrong. You do not lack friends because you are broken. You lack friends because you operate on a different timeline. You lack friends because you anchor your mind to a grand reality. The most competent men in human history operate in total isolation at the top. Kings do not have friends. Why does extreme competence destroy human connection? Why does building a massive empire require the death of the peer group? We must examine the year 326 BC. Alexander of Macedon stands at the edge of the known world in India. His army stops. His men drop their weapons. They weep. They want to go back to their homes. They think about their small farms. They think about their local wives. They think about their immediate physical comfort. Alexander looks at them and feels absolute disgust. Alexander thinks about the ocean at the end of the earth. He thinks about a united global empire. His men are his tools. They are his subjects. They are his commanders, but they are not his friends. A friend shares your baseline reality. A friend shares your daily worries. No person in that army shared the reality of Alexander. He lived in the future. They lived in the present. You experienced this exact disconnect every single day. Look at your daily operations. Look at the company you build. You build complex systems. You optimize mechanical leverage. You create a structure that operates without your physical effort. You think in decades. The people around you do not think in decades. They complain about traffic on the highway. They complain about the temperature of their coffee. They wait for Friday afternoon. You wait for nothing. You anchor yourself to a massive ambition. This ambition makes you an immovable object. When you become immovable, normal people flow around you like water around a stone. They stay for a short duration, then they leave. They leave because your obsession exhausts their energy. You demand total alignment with the grand vision. They only want to pay their electric bill and watch a screen. You must stop trying to make them understand your vision. You speak a language they cannot hear. This brings us to a critical mechanical rule. Depending on how you structure your time, you change how people consume your energy. If you act like a friend, they will treat you like a peer. If you act like a king, they will treat you like a force of nature. We look at the year 1815. Napoleon Bonaparte sits on the small island of Elba. The British government put him there to die in quiet exile. He has a small garden. He commands a fake miniature court. A normal man would accept this quiet retirement. A normal man would make friends with the local islanders. Napoleon does not see the dirt in the garden. Napoleon sees the throne of France. He possesses an imperial ambition that is larger than his physical body. He escapes the island. He lands on the coast of France. The French king sends an army to execute him. Napoleon walks directly toward the army. He stands alone in front of the soldiers. He opens his coat. He tells them to shoot their emperor. The soldiers do not shoot. They weep. They march with him to Paris. Napoleon did not build a consensus. He did not hold a meeting to ask for their opinions. He imposed his grand reality on their small reality. He was a king by supreme competence. He had no friends in that entire army. He only had instruments to execute his grand ambition. You must apply this macro strategy to your own systems today. Your ambition must act as a brutal filter. Do not hire your friends. Do not form business partnerships with your friends. You need operators. You need systems. A system does not have human feelings. A system executes a specific function. When your ambition is massive, you stop being a slave to puny things. Puny things destroy your leverage. The puny things are the daily bills. The puny things are the government bureaucracy. The puny things are the mundane social events. You must automate the bills. You must delegate the bureaucracy. You must cancel the mundane social events. You must build a machine. You sit above the machine. You direct the machine. If you worry about an unread text message from a casual acquaintance, you become a slave. If you worry about what a local competitor thinks of your business model, you become a slave. Kings do not ask peasants for permission to build castles. Most people know many things through their interaction with the normal world. They know how to socialize. They know how to relax. But these things are scientifically wrong when you attempt to build an empire. The normal rules of human behavior guarantee a normal outcome. You do not want a normal outcome. We look at the year 1206. A man named Temujin survives on the Asian steppe. His tribe abandoned him. He eats roots to survive. He has absolutely nothing. He does not seek new friends to comfort him. He does not seek therapy. He decides that he is the chosen punishment of God. He becomes Genghis Khan. He builds a new military system. This system relies on absolute operational merit. He destroys the old aristocratic networks. He destroys the ancient concept of noble friendship. In his new system, if a general is highly competent, that general leads the army. If a general fails his objective, that general dies. Genghis Khan united the largest contiguous land empire in human history. He achieved this because he anchored his identity in a divine, immovable reality. No other person could see it. He forced the entire known world to live inside his reality. You must force your market to live inside your reality. You must implement this strict hierarchy of information immediately. Audit your current circle of contacts. Remove the expectation of mutual understanding. Stop explaining your 10-year macro strategy to a person who plans only for the weekend. You waste your breath. You waste your cognitive load. Create a clear structural hierarchy for your communication. Give people only the exact data they need to execute their specific task. Nothing more, nothing less. You must protect your mental energy. You use your energy to push the grand vision forward. The extreme pain of isolation is simply the tax you pay for extreme leverage. Understand the mathematics of leverage. True leverage means 1 unit of your effort produces 1,000 units of result. Friendship requires a one-to-one exchange of effort. You listen to their problems, they listen to your problems. It is a symmetrical transaction. Kings cannot afford symmetrical transactions. If you give equal time to everyone, you have 0 time for the empire. Your ambition demands asymmetrical inputs. This is the formula for the empire. You start with the misconception. You think you need a tribe of equals. You realize equals do not exist at the summit. You ask the question, why do you feel alone? You answer it with the macro strategy. You feel alone because you operate a machine that no one else can comprehend. When people get tired of the intense technical operations of your business, they want to relax. They want to switch to the simple B-plot of life. They want to talk about sports. They want to talk about television. You never cut to the B-plot. You stay in the A-plot. You stay in the technical execution of your grand reality. Because you never break your focus, your retention of power stays incredibly high. The people around you simply will not act in accordance with your brand reality. The bigger your ambition, the more principled you become. You do not conform to society. You also do not rebel against society just to look different. You ignore society completely. This anchoring of yourself in your work creates an immovable identity. A lot of people will come into your life. They will see the heat of your obsession. They will take a small amount of value from you. Then they will leave. No one will ever match your obsession to make the vision a reality. That ambition is always bigger than you. This is why the most consequential men in history fought for their massive empires. At any given moment on this earth, barely anyone thinks on a macro scale. For the vast majority of humans, their only worries are their immediate physical realities. It is not that these simple things are completely worthless. It is that when you make them the entire purpose of your limited human life, you make yourself a slave to the dirt. When a massive imperial ambition becomes your anchor, you break the chains. You become a slave to no one. You will die alone. Every human dies alone. The only variable is the structure you build before that final moment. Do you build a comfortable circle of people who agree with you about the weather? Or do you build a lasting empire? The empire requires the sacrifice of the peer. You have no peers. You have only the mission. Accept the heavy silence in your office. Use the heavy silence. Anchor yourself to the grand reality. Execute the work. Build the systems. Leverage the machine. You are a king by competence. Act like one.